We all have that little voice in our head, the little voice that tells us we can't do this or we can't do that, the little voice that doubts us for this. But where does that voice come from? What is it here for? And so in this video, I'm going to show you how you can start to make that voice working for you instead of against you, where it comes from, and how can we now start to use it to our advantage. Sometimes it's good to go backwards before we go forward. Sometimes it's good to take a couple of steps back to put us in a different direction so we can go forward first. So in this part, we're going to go back and see, where does this start from? Why do we have this little voice? And what is this little voice? Like, where is it coming from? You know, I saw something the other day and it was reading a post, I think it was, or something, and it was said like, it was reading and then it was like, talking about the little voice. It's like we always have this little voice in our head, blah, 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 the same one that you're reading this post with. And I just laughed because I'm like, oh, you know, it's in there. So we all have it, but what is it here for? Like, where does it come from? And so to go back, when we're really young, if you look at a kid, they might be playing, but they're talking a lot. They're talking out loud, and they might even have stuffed toys and, you know, all sorts of things. They're just kids, they're just playing. But that dialogue is actually external. And so that's just how they're learning and how they're learning to figure out things and doing all bits and pieces. And they might be talking to others, they might be talking to themselves out loud and doing things. And so over time, that dialogue that they have with themselves or with other people then starts becoming internal. And then we start questioning, and as soon as it goes within, it can start running rampant then. You know, it can start taking you down an alleyway. We would say things to ourselves that we wouldn't say things to our kids. We say things to ourselves that we would get, you know, maybe even go to jail for some of the things we say to ourselves, right? We can be so harsh to the things that we say inside of us. We've been programmed, and we hear the word no or something we can't do on average 147,000 times before the age of 18. So we get programmed to say no, to be negative. And it's then that our self-talk is the thing that's running around, and it's programmed to be negative. So we have to unprogram this. And so it starts there, and then it becomes our internal voice. Now, when we have this internal voice that's running around and it's untrained, it's going to keep running around because it's of the programming that's had before. So the first thing I want you to do and to understand is to just understand that that's the program, that's not me. So imagine something that's coming around and you may be going, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good at this, I fear that doing this, it's not going to be good enough, all of that. As soon as you catch yourself, I want you to stop and go, oh, that's that program again. And then already you're starting to have that program running and you're starting to be different from it. You have thought, you're not your thoughts. Let me say that again. You have thoughts, you are not your thoughts. So many of us, we think our thoughts are who we are, but it's not. They just come from a program, from a limitation. We don't create abundance, we create limitations. And then it's our job to pull off those limitations again. Babies don't have limitations. They may bring a few into their life, you know, we don't need to go into that conversation, but for most part, they're a clean state. And from that clean state, we then start picking up limitations along the way. And then we get to our age now, and we think that those limitations, those thoughts, those feelings are who we are, but they're not, they're just the experience. They come from something which is called the shadow. If you want to dive deeper into learning about the shadow, I have a video that I've done a few weeks ago that you can go in and have a look at that. Now, coming back to the conversation we're talking about, this little voice inside of your head, we can start reprogramming this to have it being better for us rather than looking for the negatives and for being there just to, you know, hinder us. So what something is really good is to start kind of imprinting a new self-talk. There's self-talk programs where you just listen to them and you may put it on in repeat in the background and you just keep it on repeat. And so you can use your own voice and you can record something with your phone and just put it on repeat and just keep cycling around with that. You can start saying, you know, like I am, or you can start with I am, or you can start with you are. And you can say things like you're confident, everything you touch goes to gold. You are, and really like being that little person, that little cheerleader, I suppose, inside of your mind for you. You know, how much better would your life be if you had someone there saying how good you were, saying, you know, all the good things that you needed to? You would then start programming yourself to believe that. But here's the thing, a lot of people then go, oh no, but then I'll start being cocky, then I'll start being arrogant, I'll think I'm too good. No, that's not true. If it does get to that, you've probably just got some repressed and suppressed things that are then causing you to think that. Now, at our core, without our limitations, we know who we are. We know how to act. We know that we have all the good qualities, right? And we will express them more. Most of the times we have bad or negative qualities that we express because they're coming from a replayed memory from the past and from that negative self-talk from back there. So what we really need to do is then just look after it, right? And so the way that we then look after our self-talk is to give ourselves a compliment all the time. You know, say good job if you did something well. Appreciate the things that we have. Be grateful for it. You can either be ungrateful or you can be appreciative. You get to choose. Most of the times we live in this state of ingratitude, and that's creating our life because what we hold in mind tends to manifest. So we are then keeping that cycle around because we're not grateful for it. And we just keep going around in circles, and that downward spiral and our negative self-talk and our self-talk inside of our head, we think it's us, and we start going around in circles, and it's just a big nightmare, you know, and then we can start getting out of control. We can want to escape that and quiet our minds, and so then we'll start using and looking for things to help us calm our mind down. But in reality, what we need to do is to actually start getting in a good spiral. You can start getting in a good spiral easily by just saying thank you. Thank you for having these hands that I get to move. Thank you for having my full functioning body. People would kill for this body because some people don't have legs, some people are paralyzed. You know, thank you for being able to sit in a room and be out of the weather. Thank you for having a warm bed. Thank you for having cold showers or cold water and to drink and warm showers. Like, there's so much to be thankful for. And so the more that we start doing that, the more then we're programming our negative self-talk into positive self-talk that's gonna benefit us. So first things first is you can start creating these little playlists. I don't actually anymore, but it's something after doing this video that I think maybe I can go back to, is just have something playing in the background, just programming myself, because what you consume programs you, right? So then we get to consume the things that we actually want to program us, rather than it being something external that's programming us. I don't know about you, but I'd rather program myself than have someone else program me. So that is a really good thing to do. And as I said, the other thing, just go on a bit of a rant. Thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you for this. And you'll start finding that it makes a big difference. I normally go for a walk every afternoon, about 45 minutes. And there was one day that I can remember, and I wasn't in the best mood. I was quite ungrateful for a lot of the things. And yeah, just wasn't in a good mood. But I needed to get myself out of it. And I've heard someone say something, if you're in a bad mood, lock yourself in a room until you're grateful and then before you come out. I didn't actually do that, but I was walking, and so I just started going, thank you for this. And the birds were there, and I was like, thank you for the birds. And I was like, oh, thank you for the leaves that give us oxygen. Thank you for the trees that give us oxygen. Thank you for this, thank you for this. And I just started going on this rampage almost of thank yous. And I felt so much better afterwards, and literally it's probably 10 minutes. Because we start saying thank you, thank you, thank you, that then starts changing our internal state and changes the way we feel. We then have positive self-talk because of that. So those are those few little things. If you have any questions on this video, if you want me to go deeper on anything, let me know. But just understand that it's just your program. I think that's the key point in this video, is to understand that it's your program, it's not who you are. You have thoughts, you're not your thoughts. Just like you have a body, you're not your body. And so we can then step back and go, oh, that's that program again. I'm having those thoughts again. I'm having that feeling again, and understand that that is the experience of the human experience. That's not who we are. And so you can start dissociating from that, and then you can start being like, oh, you know, I don't have to live with that anymore. I can change the way I see and view that about myself, because I know that's the program, it's not who I am. And you start doing that more, and you're gonna start cracking those old beliefs that you have, and then you're programming them with new beliefs and positive self-talk, and before you know it, you'll be in a much better place. It just does take a bit of work, I think society, we're always looking for this quick fix, something we can do something once and then all of a sudden it changes everything. But that's not the case. If you do the work works. So give it a try for 30 days, give it for 60 days, 90 days. Really, in the long term of things, 90 days out of your whole life is such a small little time. So if you can do something for 90 days, why not? And see how it goes. So that's a wrap for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you went with this video, if you like it or not, what else you'd like me to talk about. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.